Yasu, welcome. It's mid-September here in Colorado, and today we're going to go in there, cut some cabbages, and make some nice sauerkraut. Okay, so why don't you come and follow me, please? Okay, we're now in the cabbage patch. See these beautiful cabbages? Off over here are my pole beans. I got some nice pole beans over here. They got almost 7-8 feet tall. These purple ones are the ones we love the best. We make excellent dilly beans with those. Behind me, my tomatoes. Tomatoes here, we like the grape tomatoes. They're excellent in my salads. In front over here is I've got my leeks. We love our leeks here in the Krebs garden because we use them for all of our cooking. They pickle up really nice, but what I really love about them is they overwinter so well. I'll have 4 or 5 feet of snow out here in the middle of January. Come out here, dig down, grab a leek. Makes great stews. But today is sauerkraut day. And we got a nice little red cabbage here. We got our trusty old pocket knife here. And it's a beautiful cabbage. Weighs about, I'd say, close to 4 or 5 pounds. Here's one I already picked. So time to make sauerkraut. Hi, we're back in the Krebs kitchen. Now we're going to talk about some great references on how to make sauerkraut. This is probably the Bible. This is Kaufman and Schoenig's Making Sauerkraut. An excellent book. But if you want more detail, you can. There's also Katz's Wild Fermentation. This is excellent because it shows you how to make some beer, wine, and kimchi. We really like and Korean sauerkraut is called kimchi. So I put up a little flag for Korea. And finally, my Bible on lacto-fermentation is Sally Fallon's Nourishing Traditions. This is a great book. What we're going to need, first off, a good knife. Again, knives are indispensable. I like using both red and green cabbages. I grow them both kinds. What I'd like to show you here is you see the nice white on top of my red cabbage? That's the lactobacteria. That's what makes the sauerkraut. That's why it's really important to have organic cabbage. So, you know, pesticides, fungicides, all kinds of stuff will kill the lactobacillus. You won't make as good a sauerkraut. I also like using salt with my sauerkraut. You know, that's the classic way to do it. And I'll put in caraway seeds, usually about a tablespoon of caraway seeds. Juniper berries. I'll usually put about 4 to 6 juniper berries per cabbage head. The trick for the Greek style, which is, you know, the Greeks call their sauerkraut lakana torsi. I hope I pronounced that correctly, which essentially means pickled cabbage. And the way the Greeks do it, they use the whey, and if you watched my yogurt video, you know, we get a lot of whey. I usually get about almost a quart of whey for every half gallon of milk that I use, and strain the yogurt, you get whey. And this is very full of lactobacillus acidophilus, bulgaricus, you name it. There's a lot of good bacteria in that. That will speed up the sauerkraut process. Also, if you don't want to use salt, if you want to use a low salt version of sauerkraut, don't put any salt in, just use whey. Equipment, let's look at the equipment. You're going to need a shredder. I know the old German cabbage shredders are great. However, I like this Moulinex La Machine too. We've had it for almost 30 years. It shreds up really good. A crock. If you get into sauerkraut making, you're going to get you a good crock. This one is from Germany. This is the Gartopf. It's called a harsh crock. These things are awesome. They have a water seal, so you don't build up any calm yeast. You get a beautiful presentation with it. It also comes with 2 stones. Finally, you need a kraut stomper. Lehman sells this one. I love it. Because what we're going to be doing is we'll be smashing up our cabbage to generate the nice cabbage juice. And that's what the cabbage will be under. With red cabbage, you really need to smash it because red cabbage is much, much harder than green cabbage. And so with that and with those equipment, let's start making some sauerkraut. See how pretty? Beautiful development. I shred up the core too. What I've done is I've cut these up into little wedges so they fit into my little Cuisinart Works out really good. Okay, so I filled up the old La Machine tool. You can see I used the little shredding assembly on that. And so now I just fill it up pretty big, and I try to pick out that sometimes you get big pieces, and so I'll chop those up. What you want to do is increase surface area on all the pieces here. And just throw it in the old crock. And I've put in almost one cabbage right now. And you guys can see it's kind of nice in there. Not another big piece. So I chopped all the big pieces up. Try to keep track of the big pieces that don't get done. And you want to try to make your shredding pretty consistent. Okay, so I've put 1 tablespoon of salt. I like the Celtic salt myself. A tablespoon of caraway seeds, about 6 juniper berries, and I like a little pinch of dill. And I just throw them in my crock. And let's go do some stomping. Okay, I've got my first cabbage in there. Put the spices in there. Now we're going to put about a tablespoon of whey in there. That's a good tablespoon. Then what we got, we take our old stomper, and my favorite song on the trusty old iPod is Kaiti Garbi's. We'll start. I like to stomp to Kaiti Garbi's Kati, which in Greek means it's that something. And I sing along sometime too. Okay, what I do is I do it like 10 minutes per head. I stomp for at least 10 minutes. That sets up the juice really well. Okay? We'll come back later. Okay, all the cabbage has been stomped really nice. Hope you guys can see that. And once you stomp the cabbage, you get the nice cabbage juice. And you want all your cabbage to stay below the water level. And I hope you guys all saved your some outer leaves of the cabbage, because the next step is what we're going to do. We're going to take the outer leaves and put it right on top of our crushed cabbage. And I like to get at least 2 of them, 2 nice outer leaves. And press them, and so press the outer leaves down so that'll hold it down. Then finally, if you're using a harsh crock, we put on our weights. These are called the stones. And what the stones do is it holds down the cabbage and holds it down below the water table here. So here we go. It's all nice and pushed down. I also wanted to tell you guys, make sure when you use salt, never use iodized salt. Okay? So now she's all set to go. And all I got to do now is put the lid on. And with a harsh crock, what we do is we add water around. And what that's going to do is it's going to let the cabbage ferment. And what the fermentation process is, again, is the lactobacillus will convert all the sugars in the cabbage to lactic acid and carbon dioxide. So that's going to get under pressure, and it's going to start bubbling off the side of the where I put the water. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this downstairs at about in room temperature for at least 2 weeks, ideally 3-4 weeks. And when you're getting started, if you really get you a nice pH meter. I love these things. pH papers don't work very good when you use red cabbage, but a nice pH meter can be very helpful, because once the pH, the acidity gets below a pH of 4.1, it's going to be ready to eat. Okay, but it actually gets better if you let your sauerkraut age at least a month and a half, 2 months. After that, what I'll do is I'll pull it out in my hand and I'll stick it in nice little mason jars, and then put that in the refrigerator. This stuff will last for a year, at least a year. So I hope you enjoyed the nice little video on how to make yourself sauerkraut with the Greek way. Kalliorexi.